I heard about the Neurologic Wellness Institute because my wife has been a patient here for a very long time, and as someone who has struggled with mental health issues for many years and have exhausted a lot of different avenues, she suggested that I come here to give this a try to see if this would be an alternative form of treatment that would work for me. My initial impression after doing the first exam was a little uncertain because it was so unorthodox for typical mental health treatment plans that I've been a part of. I've never done anything as involved where there's the level of kind of personal care and touch, as well as very deep thought and analysis into all of the various test results, and then as well as having those results get communicated back to myself along with my wife in the room with me was really helpful to be able to kind of take very comprehensive terminology and diagnoses and bring it back down into something that a non-medical practitioner can understand. I would describe the treatment here as very thorough, very intense in the sense of there is a very strong drive from all of the staff members to make sure that you are receiving the optimal care that you are looking for and seeing the progress that you are hoping to see as a patient seeking treatment. I always felt that any concerns I was bringing about or any updates I was saying about how I was observing my behavior while I was away from the office was always listened to first before starting any sort of treatment. Things were able to change on the fly based on, either a certain situation that happened from my last appointment to the current one. Things were always very live and fluid and very detailed. And what was really interesting was the multitude of ways that NWI can treat something like a mental health issue that people struggle with all the time in very we'll say psychological traditional ways, in terms of the various physical activities that they have you do, were things that I never heard of, nor even while I was doing them completely understood how they would work at the time, but you're able to see the evidence quickly build up on how helpful it is for you, and the continuous growth and the constant monitoring that they're providing you as well as yourself to really make sure that you stay on the right trajectory for what your ultimate goal is in seeking treatment. The biggest change in my life since receiving treatment has been my ability to not be as reactive in such an aggressive way. Something that I've struggled with for years and years prior to coming here was always feeling like I never stood a chance in regards to being faced with any sort of conflict and not responding over aggressively. Working at NWI for a few months, it really started to slow things down for me in terms of my mental and emotional processing of various stimuli that are around me, whether at work or home. And it allowed me to actually think through and apply some of the strategies that I learned through typical psychotherapy, and to really manage my emotions and my overall well-being. And it's gotten to the point where, I felt that at least 2 or 3 times a week I would be responding to something over aggressively or over emotionally that would have some sort of negative repercussion. Since receiving the treatment at NWI, I've gone, upwards of 6 to 8 weeks without having any sort of overwhelming emotional or aggressive reaction to something, my ability to kind of listen and process what I'm feeling and being able to think actively about how my body is feeling and how I'm responding and kind of taking my own feedback has been something that has really actually turned my life upside down for the better, or right side up I should say, and has been instrumental in allowing me to actually live a sustainable and healthy life for the last 6 months since I've wrapped up my first session here at NWI. I would say if any final thoughts would be that if you're someone who struggles with mental health and have felt that traditional forms of treatment, whether that's CBT or DBT therapy or EMDR or anything like that, as someone who has done those for say over 20 years and kind of felt like results were kind of hitting a wall, definitely would suggest giving this a try because it's something completely different, and it really, I think, even over 6 months had done more for me than any other form of behavioral therapy did over 20 years of my life.